Hello, hello. Mhm. Okay, I have to restart usually. If you saw that first video, I deleted it, so hopefully everyone will get to the right video. Introductions, my name is Patrick. The channel name is Jack Crafty. I'm a flint napper. Now I do it for money. It's a part-time job, unless I count videos, and then it can be a full-time job. Hey, Aaron is here. Howdy, howdy. I've got over 2,000 videos. I've been doing this on YouTube since 2011. I do a lot of indirect percussion, or what I call a supported horizontal punch behind my knee. Um, I do a lot of that, yes, but I also do other types of things on my channel. Danny Moore, Stidley Designs is here. Uh, I've got another channel called Allergic Hobbit. If you want to see flint napping with only natural materials, uh, done in the right way. Yeah, that's the right way to nap, right? Anyways, on this channel, I goof around. I do have some instructional videos, but they're not formal instructional videos. I'm going to try to get into doing more very precise, quote unquote, professional, and I forgot the word, but better instructional videos eventually. But this is a live stream. I used to have channel news every Wednesday, but I'm doing live streams now because I got a new internet service that allows me to have a really fast speed, which is really good. But I've got to be inside my house to get good reception, or right outside my front door, basically. My router is up here on top of my refrigerator. But I've got a good crew of people that joins me every week, 3 times a week. Mike Mason's here. Danny Moore is here. Hey, hey. Early. Jeremy's here. Thomas H is here. Okay, so yeah, if you want to see something in flint napping, I might have covered it, with all the videos that I've done. Not that they're that good, but if you want to do a search, you might find what you're looking for, right? Just type in Jack Crafty and whatever it is you're searching for, and then hit the return button and see if it comes up. All righty. What do we got here? What I do on Wednesdays, well, during my live streams, what I do is I try to read all the comments in the chat. And on Wednesdays, specifically on Wednesdays, I try to do napping as well. Yeah, try. I'm going to try to do some napping, although it's hard for me to reach and look and then nap because I got to wear my glasses when I nap. This is the thumbnail is a piece of Texas chert, Paternalis chert. Okay, this is from Izzy or Isidore. He's from Texas. It's got some issues. I might need some tissues for this stuff. But if this doesn't work, I've got something even tougher. This is from Isidore as well. It's like a rhyolite. I don't know where he gets it from. I am not an expert in rocks. I have been asked millions of times to identify rock types. I'm not good at it. So I'm just going to tell you if it naps or if it doesn't nap. Now, the thing is, even if I knew exactly what types of rocks you got, I couldn't tell you the napping properties of it because why? Every stone is different. I should write the 12 rules for napping or something. The number 1 or number 2 is every stone is different. So even if I told you exactly what you've got, I don't know how it naps because it could be different from what I've experienced with that particular type of stone. Dalton is here. Hey, Pat. Hey, my name is Patrick. I think I've said that already. But you can call me Jack. A lot of people call me Jack, actually. Even though they know my name's Patrick, they still call me Jack. Yeah. It's easier. Or you can call me Pat if you like one syllable words. Yeah. I've had people call me Patty. But when I was little, those are the ones I get into fights with. Yeah. Yep. What do we got here? Ask for Corn is here. AFC. We call him AFC, right? Tommy Taylor's here. So we got like, how many Tommies we got so far? We got Thomas H and Tommy Taylor. Jack Trick. Yeah, you can call me Jack Trick. That's funny. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think of a good nickname that people used to call me when I was little. Oh, Blankety Blank. My last name is Blank. Okay? Blank, just the way it sounds. And I used to be called Blankety Blank when I was little. Yeah. Um, there's only one other Blank on YouTube that I know of that is into this kind of stuff. It's Vanessa Blank. She's got a survivalist channel. She's from Germany, and we're not related. But whenever I can, I'll mention her channel because I've got to. There's only one more Blank on YouTube, as far as I know. Hey, Aaron, may I have some corn? Patty the Batty? No, I don't think so. Let's see. Jesse's here. Hey, ask for corn. Fake announcement. What is a fake announcement? It's a blank announcement. Danny Moore is here. Jim Fackler is here. I had to read that very carefully. Danny says, if I included you in my art, I would be drawing a blank. Okay, here we go. Let's get some more. Is that all you got? AFC says, you pushing your luck? Yeah, hey, Aaron. Mm-hmm. Snap, crackle, what's up? Says Jordan. Let's see. Jesse says, man, yay, last auction was fun. It was good. I have to admit. And I sold the t-shirts. This one's a medium size. I think I'm going to have to get a large next time because I think after I wash it, it's going to be kind of tight. Yeah. So, but I'm looking into and I'm learning how to do merch, right? So very soon, hopefully, I'll be doing merch. I'll be, maybe mugs like this and t-shirts and hats or something. I don't know. I think it'll be good. It'll support my habit. Yeah. Right now I'm living in Vermont. I have no access to free rocks other than New York. If I go to New York or maybe even northwestern Vermont, I can get free rocks, but they're not like Texas rocks. That's the one thing I do miss. I miss three things from Texas where I used to live. I miss the people, I miss the food, and I miss the rocks. Everything else, I don't miss. Well, my family, yeah. All my kids were born in Texas. But that goes without saying, right? That's like above number one. Yeah. Okay, so when am I going to start napping? When are you going to start napping? When are you going to do it? Like I always say, I will start napping when you leave. Then I'll start napping. Yeah. If you ask when are you going to start napping, I'll wait till you leave. That's when I'm going to start napping. I do a lot of yapping. Okay. I'm going to be doing more instructional videos later. I'm working on it. I'm having a hard time with it. I have ADHD or something that interferes with my brain. All right. So I'm kind of slow in getting things done. Or I'm extremely fast. I'm either extremely fast in getting it done or extremely slow in getting it done. All right. Let's see who else is here. AFC says it's from the same key and Peel skit that A. Aaron gets his name from. I don't know what that is. It's freaking hilarious. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Mike Mason's here. I can't spell this word right. Amoeba. This is not amoeba shirt though. Amoeba is like amioba. Amioba. If you want to try to spell it out. Jordan says, AFC, you're correct, man. That skit was too funny. Mike Mason says, saw a rock today that looked like amoeba shirt, broke like limestone. Hey, Scott Lauer's here. Scott's from the UK. We have an international show now. Yes. One of the internationals has shown up. He's in the house. Yes. I like the internationals because they're so eager for more information. I don't know what it is. They don't have that many flint nappers over there, or they do, but they're all napping in secret. They're all stealth nappers. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see who else shows up. Right? Hopefully, I've seen like half of the regulars here already, and it's already it's the live stream just barely started, and I've got half of my regular crew here. Yes. And if you guys can exchange information in the chats, please do. Even if it messes up the chats and I have to search and work at it to find the something relevant to look at as far as questions and stuff, it's okay. It's a community. Let's see. Tommy says, yes, I almost got 7 N06 last auction and got beat out in the last couple of minutes. Just the way an auction goes, but it was a good one. Yes. What one was 7 N06? I sent them all out today, so I can't remember which one was which. I mean, I sent the rest of them. I sent half of them yesterday and half of them today, half of the auction items. And yeah, I do ship internationally too, but I charge you a little bit. Yeah, a little bit extra. Normally, it's free shipping for items that you win in the auction, but internationally, I add at least $10. $10 for a lightweight package, and I add $20 for a heavy package. Anyway, Mr. Jim is here. Flintknapping is probably banned in Europe. Yeah. What are you guys doing over there? Yeah. I heard about the blackouts. Hey, Jay is here. Jay Valente is here. Morning, afternoon. Yep. Some people are in morning time. Some people are in still afternoon time. And just don't be here. Don't let them see you. If you're at work, don't let them see you. Because this is the weird side of YouTube, okay? Yeah. It's a weird side of YouTube. Thomas H says, I have sniped and been sniped. The auction is a dog-eat-dog world. Yeah. That's the bad thing about auctions is that people get sneaky because they've been sneaked up on. So they get sneaky. And then everyone starts getting sneaky. And yeah, it makes it difficult for me to figure out, okay, who won this time? Dang it. These guys are cutting it close. And then YouTube doesn't help because sometimes it's off by about 2 minutes. It's ridiculous. YouTube is ridiculous. Except for, I don't know what I would do without being able to post YouTube videos. Yeah. But it's not a good format for auctions, but I like it better than eBay because eBay, you get people taking advantage, yeah, of the sellers, believe it or not. I got taken advantage of when I started selling stuff on eBay. Because all you got to do is complain that I didn't ship it on time, and then they say YouTube sends you a notice, and so you got to either refund the money or keep talking to the buyer to see if you can work it out. So I talked to this is one guy. I talked to the buyer. He says, "No, you didn't send it on time, and you lied and blah blah blah." So I said, "Okay, I'll send you the money. I'll refund your money." And we'll see. Maybe the package will come back to me because he said it hadn't been delivered. But it turns out it was delivered. Yeah. And then he felt bad, but he didn't refund the refund. He didn't, he got his money back, I think, but didn't give it back to me again. Anyways, it's very easy to lie on eBay, both buyers and sellers. So I just do my auctions on YouTube. All right. Jesse says, smash the like button. Justin says, hello, Patrick and friends. Hey, Justin. When are we going to start napping? Don't say that, Justin, because now I got to wait for you to leave before I start napping. Let's see. Everyone say hello to Jay. Jay's got a channel. If you want to learn what it takes to find free rocks and stuff, you go on Jay's channel. He's got a ton of videos on how to find rocks because every single week, I don't know about you guys that post napping videos, I get someone asking me, "Where do I find rock?" I mean, come on, you could tell me. You could tell me, okay? Just tell me. Just tell me where to find rock because I'm dying. I hate floor tile. I hate glass. I hate ceramics, and I hate buying it. I want to find free rock. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to look around. Okay. Jay is the expert on looking around. You don't know what I'm talking about? Just look back in the chat. Okay. Ooh, I think I got a delivery. I did get a delivery. I'm going to ruin my sign here, my on air sign. Yeah, I got a delivery, but it wasn't a box of rocks. It might have been a little box of rocks or something, but anyways. Let's see. Watch Will Lord in the UK for leads to European nappers. Yeah, Jim says watch Will Lord. Yes, definitely watch Will Lord. WILL space LORD. And I forget the name of his channel though. If it's Will Lord, it's easy, but if not, you'll have to figure it out. Tommy Taylor says, Scott, I went to the UK and Scotland a couple years ago. It's a lot of people in London. The kids paid for my wife and I to go. It was a nice trip. Only bad part was getting a new king at the time. Really? Mike Mason says, well, I turned it into leverite. Oh yeah, leverite is when you find something that looks like it might be nappable and you hit it with a hammer like this, and you go, it's not good, so you leave it right there. That's leverite. Mike Mason says, sorry about the delay in bat country as usual. That's okay. Joke's on y'all, but I'm not leaving. You're not leaving? You want to know when I'm going to nap? See, I haven't been napping because you're still here. Jay says, thanks, Patrick. Hey, no problem. Yep. You take the burden off of me so I don't have to explain to these guys how to find rocks, okay? Because I get the question all the time. And I go, somebody tell them. Somebody tell them. So somebody's telling them. Scott Lauer says, Tommy, we have, I didn't know. Have we? I don't read so good. So Mike Mason says, anyone ever ask you how you name your auctions? I am curious. Well, I used to be a draftsman. That's my professional career. I do 3D. 3D? No. I do drafting. What is it called now? Computer aided drafting, right? That's my background. So I'm used to categorizing drawings, hundreds and hundreds of drawings in some way. Part of my job was to figure out how to organize their library of drawings when they would employ me. I've been in various positions. One of the first things they say is, can you straighten out the file system here? Because the last draftsman didn't know how to file these things. We got them all over the place. And we don't know which drawings are new and which drawings are old. I mean, it's ridiculous. Can you organize it, please? And so, yeah, I have a system where, like with the auctions, I write down a list. Okay, I can't include certain things in the titles of the auctions because it gets mixed up with my other videos when someone wants to type in a search, right? So I don't number my auctions in the same way, right, as the other videos, or do I? Let me check here. I don't even remember. But I came up with a system that wouldn't match the text in my other titles. Okay, long story short, it's just a random way that I came up with out of the blue, basically, that didn't match the titles of my other videos. Okay, so that's how I did it. And I can't believe I can't remember if my auctions are numbered in the same way as my other videos. If I could push the right buttons, that would help. Yeah, see, I don't have most of my videos. See, even my live streams are numbered differently. My live streams are numbered LV. My auctions are just auction and whatever it is. And then my other videos are numbered like 2162. I have 2,162 videos that are numbered in that way. Probably more because uh, there's some other videos that uh, well, I skip numbers, so we'll see. Anyway, that's a good question, and I spent too long answering that question because it's one of my pet peeves is how do I categorize things? I got to categorize them in a good way. Actually, spend time thinking about it and losing sleep over it. Uh, so let's see. AFC says I didn't know that. I'll check out his videos. Yeah, check them out. Tommy says, Scott, we didn't plan on it that way. Y'all still had a queen when we booked the trip. Ah, yeah. Talking about the English royalty, British royalty. Jeremy's here. He takes care of a flint mine. Who takes care of a flint mine? Dalton says, I'm working on some heated elevates from Curtis Smith. Awesome. Let's see. Jay says, walk around outside and look down. Bang, rocks till one flakes. Oh, bang on rocks until one of them flakes. Yeah, that's how you find rocks. You go, hey, yeah, I know it's Walmart, but look, there's some rocks. Let me see. No one, people are looking at me funny, but let me check it out. Oh yeah, it chips. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. Scott Lauer says, Tommy, did we? I don't pay attention to our posh families. Definitely posh for sure. All right, so here we go. Matthias Melander's here. Matthias, I think, are you from Denmark? I can't remember these things. I get confused between Denmark and Netherlands and Sweden in that area. Tommy Taylor says, Keith, it's only 4 likes so far. Dang. Alina's here. Hey, your system of naming videos and auctions is amazing. Simple system is best. Thank you. Thank you. Alina is also an international, just so you all know. Danny Moore says, Keith, let the dogs out. Yeah. If you don't start hitting the like button, we release the Kraken or the hounds from hell, right? Let's see. Mr. Jim says, I'm trying to find a used electric turkey roaster, but I'm still walking around my property stocking up rocks for heat treatment. Yeah. Just use your kitchen oven, or, maybe you can go over your buddy's house and use his oven. Mm-hmm. Alan says, I got stuck in the surgery room last night. It was a busy night, no lunch break. Good news is many dogs and cats' lives were saved. Okay. Bad news is that I'm exhausted. Okay, Alan, I've been meaning to ask you about you in a picture holding a falcon. You're into falconry, right? You don't ever talk about falconry. I think it's a very interesting subject. And you're standing next to somebody who's got an eagle standing on his hand, who obviously is also a falconer, right? That's what you call yourselves, falconers. I don't know. Keith Ricketts, Danny led them out when they came in. We're up to 16 now. Ah, yeah, the like count is going up. Alan, are you a veterinarian? I think Alan, yes, is working as a veterinarian. All right, so let's see what we got here. I'm missing some chat. Tommy says, my phone only showing 4 likes. Okay. I see 31 likes, says Mr. Jim. Yep. Matthias Melander says, yeah, I'm from Denmark. Been missing a lot of live streams lately because of New York with kind of bad hours. New work with kind of bad hours. Okay, so Matthias is from Denmark. Okay, I gotta remember that. Matthias, Denmark. Matthias, Denmark. Denmark. Danish. Yes, he's Danish. Okay, I think I can remember. See, if I embarrass myself enough, maybe it'll sink in. Ralph Snyder's here. Okay, Alan says, I'm a licensed tech. I've been doing this for 32 years. So you're a tech at a veterinary clinic, I imagine. Thomas H says, that's super cool, Alan. My dog appreciates what you do. Jesse says, Jay had a kill shot on a Mauser with a blow dart with a napped point on it. On a mouse. Okay, I need to see that video where Jay shoots a mouse with a blowgun dart. I do need to see that. You've mentioned it before. I just haven't remembered to watch it. Mr. Jim says, I was a vet tech for almost 20 years. So we got two vet techs. Wow. Mike says, okay, the letter defiantly felt random. Definitely felt random. What felt random? Yeah, Ralph Snyder says, hello, everybody. Tommy Taylor says, Scott, when we were there, didn't many people care for the politicians or the posh, especially the cab drivers? I see. Let's see. Matthias says, I found my first complete half-polished X Easter Day. Awesome. Yeah, they got these half-polished axes, right, over in Europe, Northern Europe. Interesting artifacts for sure. The one artifact that I wasn't too sure of were those flake axes. And I have a previous video, and I misidentified a flake axe as some kind of burnisher or something, right? I didn't realize that it was actually called a flake axe. It's a triangular piece of very crudely knapped flint, but I think it can be used as a little chopper if you haft it to a stick, right? But I have no experience with those. So I miscategorized it, I think. But that's not what Matthias was talking about right there. Scott Lauer says, Will Lord's parents looked after Grimes' graves. Not sure if he does. Napping snobbery over here. Let's see. Ralph says, yes, Alan is great at saving our fur buddies. Yeah, fur buddies. So yeah, tell us about the falconry, Alan. Tell us about it. Or is it a secret? I shouldn't have let the secret out. This microphone, it works, but it falls off. Let's see, is that gonna work? Stick that side behind my ear right there. Yeah, it feels a little more secure. But anyway, I can't get a break on the electronics, even when I spend money on them. There's always something wrong with the microphones or the cameras or the phones. Can't catch a break. All right, so what am I doing? Mike Tuft's bopper. I'm trying to get rid of the nasty areas on this. See that? It's still nasty underneath. Oh yeah, I have a problem with the lighting too. Sometimes the sun wants to mess up my video. That's sunlight. And I close the curtain, but it's peeking right through this only one spot that's open, and it happens to be in my video. And these flakes are flying all over my dining area. I'm in my kitchen, basically. Yes. See, and if you want to know what angle I'm hitting at, what's the angle? It's either 56.2 or 52.6 degrees. Yeah, always. How much force am I using? I should come up with a number for the amount of force I'm using. I should give it to you in joules, right? What? What's joules? It's a measure of energy. Okay, I should give it to you in joules. give you the exact amount of force with each blow. Yeah. Because no matter how hard I hit, it's always the same. Yeah. Really? No. It's just there's no way for me to know exactly how hard I'm hitting to tell you. And even if I could tell you, it's always variable. Just because I hit it with a certain amount of force one day doesn't mean I'm going to do the same thing the next day. I might say to myself, in my brain subconsciously, you were hitting way too hard yesterday, so let's back off a little bit. Yeah, but I told like 50,000 people that it was a certain such and such amount of energy, and now I'm backing off a little bit today. I got to go back and edit and tell them, today I'm backed off by 0.6 joules. Okay, so skip what I told you yesterday. That would be my life, just correcting everything every other day. Napping, and one of the 12 rules of napping, napping is variable. Small, subtle differences that are almost imperceptible make all the difference when it counts, when it starts to get thin, and when you want to make notching, or you want to duplicate an artifact the way they flaked it. Maybe not make an exact copy because that's kind of dicey and not very ethical. But if you want to duplicate the flaking types, the notching types, the thinness, almost imperceptible little tweaks are what's going to make all the difference. And I can't tell you what those little imperceptible little tweaks are. I can't do it. Nobody can, because only you and your brain know how to make those imperceptible little tweaks. Almost imperceptible. Okay. Some people are better at recognizing extremely subtle differences than others. If you have trouble recognizing extremely subtle differences in technique, you're going to be lost in Flintknapping, and maybe forever. That's just the way it goes. Let's see. What did I miss? Okay, you're talking about falconry. Awesome. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Alan says, the picture is of my first employer and myself. I started as an educational program aide at the local zoo when I was 16. That picture is me and David Sidon Jr., Wildlife Images in Grants Pass, Oregon, 2016. I see. That's a while ago. AFC says, I looked into falconry, but in my state, the requirements are crazy. After they're all met, you have to get your muse inspected, and there's only one guy that does it. Dang. Only one guy that does the inspections in the whole state. That's not good. All right, where did I miss? Matthias says, yeah, they don't really know what they were used for because a lot of them have almost no edge damage. They think flake axes was used for something soft like hides or something. Okay, so yeah, flake axes are still a mystery over there. Okay, that's good to know. They're just triangular, crudely worked shapes that may be used in hide processing. Okay, interesting. But you can tell that's like on the one that I received as a gift, part of the flake axe feels polished, like it's been handled a lot. So it was used quite a bit, or the natural stone has a very worn down, very smooth area on it somehow. Let's see. Mike Mason says, ever seen how they breed falcons? What do they call that hat? What do they call that hat? Oh yeah. It's a cover for the eyes and stuff, right? Alan says, I have a red-tailed hawk and David is holding a golden eagle. Both are permanent residents and were rescued from life-threatening injuries. I see. Bald eagle, not golden eagle. Okay, bald eagle. Yeah, I was going to say that golden eagle must have been old with gray hair or something. Ralph says, "Oh, he's saying hi to everybody." Let's see. The amount of force is always enough. Yes, that's a good answer. When napping, the amount of force is always enough. Do it in kilonewtons, says AFC. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's see. Everyone's saying hi. 1 kilonewton is 1,000 fig newtons. Only engineers figure make that. Only an engineer would think that was funny. Yeah. Right? Scott says, Ralph, he's feeling sorry for himself right now. He's getting better though. Mr. Jim says, I knew a guy in Colorado that kept falcons. He sold falcons to the Air Force Academy to fly during football games. Man, that's interesting. Jim says, I used to practice falconry in a younger life. Currently, I'm watching several Merlin nest sites. I see. Yeah, I was thinking of getting into falconry at one time until I found out how much space is required to keep one. I didn't have the space. Maybe eventually here in Vermont, I'll be able to we'll see, find a piece of land that has enough space that I can afford. We'll see. Let's see. Mr. Jim says supposedly he was one of a handful of people that could get falcons to reproduce in captivity. Really? Usually you capture falcons from the wild, right? You trap them, you catch them by the foot or something, and then you can uh, train them to do stuff as long as you feed them. And there's rules for keeping them and training them. State rules. You can't. You've got to follow the state laws and all that. Let's see. Ralph says, Alan, you practice falconry? I always wanted to learn it. Michigan allows duck hunting with raptors. Yeah, raptors are the birds of prey that you can, basically tame to go hunting with you. Jesse says, Patrick, that root beer blade you made, the original stone was the best quality I've ever seen. Raw, almost zero impurities, nap like heat treat, but has raw, man. It was fun watching you skin that one. Yeah, I'll be working those flakes. Someone asked me to work the flakes on that. I'm going to work a couple of those flakes, or maybe one only. But yeah, high grade stuff. But as you know, high grade stuff can also show a lot of your mistakes very glaringly. All right, so Alan says, I'm going to be quiet so you don't get too distracted. Everyone here is here to see me. It's here to see you, Patrick, not me. Yeah, maybe so. Robert Tito is here. He says, nice shirt. Yeah, I'm planning on making merch that says this crafty napper. Yeah. So I'm showing off the design and see how people like it. So far, everyone says, nice shirt. Cool. Awesome. Sal's in the house. I'm here, but I have tornado warnings going off and service is crappy. Oh, dang. Thomas H says, Mr. Jim was that guy from Grand Junction. I knew a falconer there. Robert Tito, cool shirt, huh? I want one too, but I have to wait for a bigger size. Gorilla size. Gorilla X. Ralph says, glad to hear that, Scott. We'd like to see a video of him. AFC says, a peregrine falcon swooped down and grabbed the rotisserie hen off my plate when my mom took me to medieval times as a kid in Chicago. One of the falcons from the falconers grabbed your dinner. That's so funny. AFC, let's see, I read that one. Alan says, I've done too many things in regards to animal training and medicine. I can't list it all. On with the show, Patrick. Lithic percussion. Yay, lithic percussion. Tukas Miller or Tukas Milker Matheson. Can you make a thong with that logo? What is this? Do we have a troll in our midst. Mr. Jim says, Thomas H. No, his name was Mike Manelli, and he lived outside of Loveland, Colorado. Okay, we're talking about inspectors for falconers. Okay, so let's see what I can do here. I'm afraid to hit this because we still got imperfections there and here in the stone, so I might not be able to preserve the entire length. I'm down to my last little bit on my coarse abrader. I like to use a coarse abrader on this type of stone. I'm trying to get past a bunch of imperfections in the stone here. I need to knock those off first, and I'm going to try to preserve this here. It's got some cortex. I'll be napping toward the cortex, okay? But I've got to make sure I've got all the imperfections napped out first. And then what I'll do is I'll skin some of this off to make it more flat. And then I'll nap toward that area with greater intensity. After I get this cleaned up here, if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to get all that crackly stuff out of there. When I do this with my microphone, it's starting to fall off. So yeah, if you're new, you can ask questions. Don't be shy. The live stream is going until 4 p.m. Eastern. You can lurk in the background if you want. Of course, I can't control what's going on, but you know what I'm saying. Just to figure out what's going on. Some people say, so that's what you look like? Really? You don't sound like that. You don't look like how you sound. Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah. I've been everywhere. I've lived in all kinds of places. I've lived in the Northeast, like here. I grew up in New Hampshire. I went to Texas for a long time, and now I'm back up here in Vermont, which is basically the same area. But yeah, I lived in many places in Texas. I've also lived in Indiana. I've lived in Michigan. I spent a little bit of time in California, right outside Los Angeles, for work. Most of my traveling has been for work in the past. Where else did I go? Yeah, that's about it. I've traveled to Florida and New Mexico and Utah and places like that just on vacations. I've been on cruises. Oh, I don't like cruises. I don't like cruise ships either. Oh, I don't understand it. Rich people do stuff that's stupid. I can't stand being on a cruise ship. I don't normally get seasick on a smaller boat, but when I'm on a cruise ship, I just feel terrible the whole time. And it's not seasickness because, I mean, I don't feel like I get stomach aches and throat and vomiting or anything. It just feels all, it makes me feel blah because you can see, like, especially when you're eating and the ship, lists or whatever they call it, you can see the level of the liquid in the drinks go like this and like that slowly. It drives me nuts. And you feel a little bit off balance walking around the ship, but you're like, this looks straight, but I feel off balance. What is it? It's messing with my equilibrium. So I have to go up on deck. So when I go on a cruise, I go on the top deck. I don't go down in the middle decks and look out. I have to be on the very top before I can actually, okay, I feel like I can breathe now and stand up without feeling sick or that weird equilibrium thing going on. But rich people go on cruises all the time. Is there something about the rich people's brains that is immune to This rocking of ships? It must be. Otherwise, I don't know how they like it. How did I get into that? I don't know. I'm just rambling. I forgot where I started. This is really crackly. It's nasty up here near the tip. But we're going to keep going on this one. I don't feel like napping the other two that I've got sitting there. I got different rocks. This stuff up on here is pretty good, right under the cortex. It's just the stuff underneath that's not good. So I'm trying to get rid of it. In case you just tuned in. And I'm missing a lot of the chat. Usually when I don't read for 5 minutes, that's when everyone's posting. All right, what did I miss? Okay, let's see. You're talking about falconry again? Interesting. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can catch up here. So tornado warnings, I read that already. Okay, Robertito, I read that one already. And I read the, swoop down and grab the rotisserie on my plate. That's the one, that medieval times thing is what sparked me to go into this thing about traveling different places, I guess. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I just want to chill out with a Jack Crafty thong. I don't understand this. Took us, let's see, thong like underwear or a sandal? Because if underwear, it should just say face snappers welcome. Do you guys know what face? Well, all you guys know what face snapping is. I don't think we got any new guys. A lot of expressions we use today comes from falconry. Wrapped around your finger, under the thumb, are falconry terms referring to holding the raptor. I see. Yeah, Tukas sounds like Asperger's alter ego. Yes, it does. Yeah, he meant sandals. Oh, okay. So I can make sandals out of the t-shirt? I mean, make it make sense. Tommy says, Sal, I read somewhere the other day that they are predicting a month of May to be the worst for tornadoes in a while. Let's see. Tuka says Jack needs to get his mind out of the gutter or out from underneath the rocks. Yeah, one of those. Sal says your course abrader is almost there. He's sending it to me in the mail. Tommy, today is showing it for sure as far as tornadoes go, I guess. Jim, practicing falconry is akin to having a horse. 365 days a year, you're on duty. Lots of people breed raptors at this point in history. Hybridization of raptors has changed the concept of species. I see. I didn't know there was hybridization going on. That's interesting. Alan says, Ralph, have you heard of Minkhenry? I think falconry with Mink. Joseph Carter in the Mink Man on YouTube is a personal friend. So you're hunting minks with a falcon? You're correcting your typos? If you're going to troll, make sure you type out the troll correctly so that I can read it correctly. Yeah. Tommy says, Sal, can't read that either. It come in TN right now, but I guess your weather headed my way. They giving bad weather for tonight and tomorrow. Ralph says, the term fed up refers to a hunting raptor that has eaten and won't be motivated to hunt. Really? Mr. Jim says, I go to Concord, New Hampshire sometimes to see my wife's family. I've been to Concord. It's okay. Let's see. Sal says, "Where are you at, Tommy?" West in Tennessee, about an hour east of Memphis. Oh, so TN is Tennessee. Okay. So it doesn't stand for toenail. All right. I have trouble with the abbreviations. I can't figure them out. JF says, "Hey, Patrick and everybody." JF Baird says, "Hi." All right. We got anybody else new? I don't see. Ralph says, "Yes, Alan. I've heard of hunting with trained mink. Very cool. I don't get it, though. I got to look that up." Sal says, "Been watching Max Velocity channel before coming here." Max Velocity. Oh, the Weather Channel, Max Velocity. Yeah. Yeah, the channel name on YouTube, Max Velocity, is a good channel. Except every time he speaks, it's like, we have an exciting weather pattern today. Every day is exciting, and it's shaping up to be quite the amazing weather phenomenon. Blah blah blah. He's very dramatic, but I guess it keeps you interested. I had to tone down the volume though. See, with neurodivergent people, we don't like in your face fast information. Take it easy. Well, not everybody likes to take it easy. People say, "You're not going fast enough. Turn it faster." Listen, where's double speed on the where's a double speed on the settings? Double speed. I'm not the double speed guy. I'll tone it down to like 85% speed if you're talking too fast. I'm the opposite. Let me see. Let's see. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Everyone's saying hi. Thomas H says, "Jack, I couldn't find anything searching your channel, but have you ever attempted replicating the Z Flake Dalton?" No, that's why it's not on my channel. I haven't tried to duplicate or attempt to replicate the Z Flaked Dalton. What is a Z Flaked Dalton? It's just a Dalton that has sequential flaking, but the endings of the flakes, luckily, are all pretty much the same, all the way down. So it looks like, when you overlap flakes that have basically the same length, almost perfect all the way down, you don't totally wipe out the previous flake scar. So you've got some of the previous flake scar that looks like an, an L, right, on one side. And then when you shoot a flake from the other side's just got single flakes that are overlapping without that extra space left over. The second pass overlaps them completely. So on one face, you have partial overlap, and on the other side of the face, you have full overlap. So it looks like a Z. The flake scars actually look like a Z. So on one side, it's like an L, and then you match it up with one flake, it looks like a Z. That's what they call a Z pattern Dalton, and I have not tried to replicate that because I still can't pressure flake with consistency. All right? And I can't indirect percussion flake with that kind of consistency because I don't pay attention too much to the surface quality of the preform. I'm random. In order to do any type of sequential flaking, especially the Z pattern, you have to prepare the surface ahead of time. That's why you've got these guys that are doing what they call fog or flake over grind. What they do is they flake over a surface that they grind down so it's perfect. I've got the sun on the screen. Where's my... Let's see. I need to figure out why I'm getting sunlight on the screen. Hold on a second here. It's driving me absolutely nuts. No, that's not going to do it. Where is the light coming from? It's coming from my front door. I can't do nothing about that. Let's see. It's coming in through my front door. No, it's coming in through my skylight. Okay. What do I do? Hold on. This is a partial interruption in transmission. Please be patient. We have to pause for station identification. That sort of thing. I need to figure out how to get this done. Okay? All right. I'm going to improvise. I'm going to wing it. That didn't do it. Hold on. It just so happens that the sun is exactly in the wrong place at this time of year. Yes? Okay. It's never done that before. I have never seen it come in through the skylight like that at this hour. Okay. Well, let's see. So I had never done the Z pattern, but I plan to do that kind of pattern flaking in the future once I get better at it, because I'm focusing now on doing more of the sequential flaking. And somebody was sending me messages right when I was trying to do the technical difficulty solution. All right. What did I miss? I missed a lot. Okay, I read that I go to Concord, New Hampshire. I read that one. Okay, I read that one. I read this one. Okay, Z flicked. Thomas H says, "Oops, I meant Jack Trick." Matthias says, "I'll go to bed. Gotta get up at 4:30, like 8 hours from now. Good to be here again. Have a great day." All right, we'll see you soon, Matthias. Thank you. Let's see. Blades and Sal, you're saying hi to everybody. You've been here for a while. Let's see. Jesse says the small brick-looking paper stones from Home Depot work great. I score the brick and snap it in half. It works great for abraders. Let's see. The paper stones using, as abraders. Okay. What's the knapping? Root beer? It's kind of like it's a Pedernales type of chert. It's not quite the root beer stuff. Okay. Sequential flaking is Patrick's favorite, says Mike. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, very funny. Mike says, Texas, I think he said, and Rhyolite on standby. Yeah, this is Texas Pedernales chert. And I've got some stuff that looks like rhyolite. In other words, landscaping stone. He says heat treat dacite. Did you heat treat this? I don't remember now. Shall we abuse the super bopper? Let me see. I guess he did heat treat this because that flaked pretty good. So this might be heat treated, what they actually call dacite in the geological circles, right? Geologists. See, I'm not a geologist, so when we say dacite as flint knappers, we mean opaque obsidian or obsidian that you cannot see through, basically, right? But this might actually be technically dacite, and it's heat treated, so it might not be that bad. Let me see if I can clean this up first. How much time we got? 2:49, so it's almost 3, so we got an hour and 10 minutes. All right. The light shifting the screen. Yeah. Hopefully that's okay now. Let's see. Patrick is being raptured in real time. That'd be weird. Alina says, "What is consistency? Is it opposite to chaos? Chaotic knapping is a true system." Yeah, it's definitely, there are two systems in knapping, right? And one is very consistent and the other is random. One of them is contrived, which means you set everything up and try to be perfect. That's contrived. 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 And then the other is opportunistic, where you just look to see if you got an opportunity and take it. You don't set anything up, basically. All right. So there's contrived where everything is set up, and opportunistic where you just take it as it comes. If it's not there, you don't have an opportunity. If you just kind of get rid of all the weak areas on the opportunistic napping, and then you see if you have an opportunity somewhere, and then you take the strike. But with contrived napping, you fix everything so everything becomes an opportunity, and you can basically send a flake wherever you want instead of just looking for the opportunities. And the pinnacle or the top or the most refined type of contrived napping is the flake over grind or fog napping. Okay. The most opportunistic napping doesn't have a name. Yeah. Unless you want to call it spaz napping or something like that. Okay. Hey, you shouldn't say spaz because it's discriminatory. All right, fine. I didn't say it. Okay. Just pretend I didn't say it. All right. Looks like Heckle's kind of, I don't know. Jesse says, Mike, ha ha ha. Let's see. Someone's joking in the comment section and I can't see it. Let's see. Alan says, you'll get a video text from me, Patrick. It's me and my trained mink. It's a lure training video. The mink catches the lure and cashes in the cat carrier. I see. I guess I see. All right. So I didn't miss much during my station pause. Patrick, I got a big block of Vermont black shirt for you to try. Sweet. Gonna mail it to you ASAP. Won't be able to mail it for like a month, but I'll get it to you. Creek find. I kind of like this stuff. Well, heck, you like. I know you're good at finding stuff in Vermont, but liking it, it's hard to like Vermont stone for napping. It's very hard to like. I don't like any of it so far. As far as the results, I don't like any stone. Basically, I just like the result, and some stones give you much better result than others. But I thought you said you had some favorites and you got the top 3 and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know, but you have to understand if you're new and if you've been on the channel for a while and you don't understand it yet, napping for me is a terrible journey, but with tremendously good results. I like the results. So if you ask me what's my favorite material, I'm going to tell you the material that I get satisfaction from the results from. I get satisfaction from the results of certain material. That makes them my favorite. The napping itself is, I don't know. It's like wearing fiberglass underwear. It's just terrible. Yeah. It's from fiberglass underwear is from a Robin Williams joke. Yeah. I want to send you some Utah mahogany obsidian in church, says Alan. Well, then, okay. Sweet. Send me an email, jackcrafty2@gmail.com. Yes. If you want to send me something, we can arrange it through email. jackcrafty2, all one word, and then the number 2. jackcrafty2@gmail.com. That's my email. Don't wear it out. Ginger Squatch is here. Looks like ginger snap flavored dacite. Yeah, it does. It's almost like cinnamon dacite too. Take your pick. It's ginger snap flavored dacite or cinnamon dacite. Doesn't matter. And I think it changed color after he treated it. Now that I look at it, it's kind of purplish on the outside. It's interesting stuff. Interesting. I don't know what I'm going to make out of this. I'll probably do it on video eventually. 25.6 joules. Yeah. All right. So napping for you is a means to an end. Yes, says Mac Bales. Yeah. Well, it is the means to the end. It's not. What did you say? For me, well, I describe it this way. For me, napping is a terrible journey with a beautiful destination. Yeah. You know how you have to sometimes chop through the jungle to get to the ancient temple site or whatever. So the journey is terrible, but the reward is great. I don't enjoy any particular type of stone as far as the actual napping goes. They're all, how should I say? Uh, I don't know. I need to come up with a word for it. They're all basically a pain in the butt. Okay, so napping for you. Yep. Hey, TJ is here. TJ's new life. TJ from Australia. AFC says it's a frightening business walking out your front door. Yeah. What are we talking about though? I'm trying to see if I've missed something in the chat, but if I go back too far, I'll get too distracted. All right, so let me see. Let's see if I can do something with this. It doesn't look good. It does not look promising. So yeah, for me, flint napping started out as just a way for me to make arrows like they did back in the day with stone tips. That was it. And then it turns out that as soon as I started napping, people ask me, how do you do that? How do you do it? What are you doing? I'm trying to make an arrowhead for my arrows. Yeah, but I want to do that. How do you do it? I just kind of started. I know, but you're the only person I know that's doing it. Okay, so I'll try to tell you. And then I found out that I can't answer all the questions without spending my life on the computer responding to emails. So I started making videos. And with a video, I can answer 1,000 questions in one video. Yeah. And then I can also see what I'm doing to see exactly what is it that makes flint napping work or not work. And the videos are very handy in trying to figure out how it works or doesn't work. Right? So that's why I started making videos, both to answer questions and also to watch myself nap and take my mind off of things. I was depressed at the time when I first started the YouTube videos. So it was a hobby that was good. And then it became more and more of a quest and not just something to help me make arrows. It's like a quest. How does this actually work? And it's tied to how our brains developed as humans. This is an ancient practice, right? Humans have been napping for almost 1,000,000 years or something. I don't know how old the oldest artifacts are. But yeah, it shaped our brains. Flint napping helped to shape our brains as humans. So there's that. So I started becoming fascinated with different aspects of flint napping. And it actually gets you in touch with cause and effect. And whether you have spontaneity in your brain or if it's all determined ahead of time that these things that you're making are determined, you don't really have a choice in how these are made. Your brain just automatically follows a what they call it, a deterministic path. There's no spontaneity in how this is done. I found out that's wrong, and this Flintknapping is one way to disprove determinism. Okay, and that kind of thing. So it not only has physical implications for the human mind, but philosophical implications. Yeah. So it became more than just a hobby. Yep, yep. How did I get into talking about that? I have no idea. Somebody must have asked me the question and got me started. Don't get me started. This is not healthy for the brain. It's frustrating. When it's got a lot of defects in the stone, it's frustrating. See that up there? That's not flint knapping mistakes. That's crud stone. Same on this side. This is a bunch of crud stone. What did I miss? How old was I when I started napping? I started napping in 2007, but 2009 is when I start counting as far as real napping, so to speak. So 2009, that's now 2025, 16 years ago. I'm 62. So how old is that? 62 minus 16? I don't know. I can't do simple math because I have to visualize it. So that's how old I was when I started napping. 56? No. 46? What's 46 plus 16? I was in my 40s. Yep. Right? I don't know. I can't do simple math quickly. I never could. Even in the old days when they told us how to do all the math shortcuts. I can't do simple math in my head. Anyways. I got workarounds, but it's hard to do the workaround in my brain while I'm doing the napping, believe it or not. Yeah. I can speak while napping. I just can't do mathematical stuff. Yep. And did I use math in my job? Yes, all the time. All the time. But you get better with practice when it comes to math. So all you guys that say, I'll never use math. Why do I have to learn it in school? If you're young, I don't have very many young viewers, but if you're young, if you know how to do math, you will have an advantage at work. Yes. Doesn't matter what kind of job you have. You do have an advantage if you know math or get into that mentality. All right, so let's see. What did I miss? I have Mac Bale says, I for one am thankful that you made the journey, even if it was a rough one. You have helped so many crafty wannabes. Well, I'm glad you think so. Thank you. And let me get back to where I missed or when I stopped watching the chat. Let's see. Before I nap, says Sal, I have to check the Flex Compositor and hit the right amount of gigawatts. AFC says, a journey of napping and a Lord of the Ring quote. Yeah. Alan Bartholomew is here. How old were you when you started napping? Yeah. I don't know. I think we said it was like 46 or something. SGP, funny as hell. 52.9 gigawatts. Let's see here. Mac Bale says, I for one, okay, I read that one. AFC says about 1 million years. Yeah, humans have been napping about 1 million years. Bill Hansen says, I got me a bag of morels this morning. Awesome. Already, the morel mushrooms or the morel mushrooms are out already. I got a hole in the glove. And even if it's just a tiny little hole, I get a ton of flakes in there and they itch. And even the sensation of itching can throw off your napping because, like I said, one of the 12 rules of napping is even slight even slight tweaks or slight differences in the napping can make all the difference in the results. That's one of the reasons why when I nap, I'm like, it's a nail biter every single time. Yeah. And why then did I get into napping as a hobby? Why? Well, because it challenged me in a way that I didn't know existed. It's not like other crafts. You think it's a craft, but it's actually a sport. That's what threw me off. Okay? It's not really a handicraft. It's more like a sport. There's an element of risk, a large element in some cases. Like some flint knapped items uh, depend a lot on luck to complete. Some do not. And you can tell the difference when you look at the artifacts. Okay? Like very thin artifacts are luck points. It takes a lot of luck to create something very thin compared to something thick. Okay? When you're comparing the thick stuff to the thin stuff, because that's the only thing you can compare it to, really. And when I'm saying that luck has a large part of it, I'm comparing it to other flint knap items within the realm of flint napping. Okay? Might not be risky in other areas of life. Like you can't compare race car driving and flint napping and that kind of thing. There are different kinds of risk there, but there is an element of risk in the flint napping that makes some points what I call luck points, which requires a lot more luck to complete than other points. All right, so we can look at it also in the amount of success per attempts. Like if you attempt 10 different uh, points, all the same points, right? You attempt it. You make 10 preforms, and then 10 refined little bifaces or refined preforms, and then get into finishing all of them. How many of those survive after you get to the final stage of finishing? So if you're attempting an extremely thin point style, you're going to break more of them. So maybe you can succeed uh, half the time. 5 out of 10 are actually finished to that thinness. Okay, if you go even thinner, you're gonna break even more. So you might get 1 out of those 10 to be completed at that thinness. Okay, are you understanding that that's a luck point? If you can only complete 1 out of 10 and it's extremely thin, I'm not talking about new guys now. Experienced nappers, if you can only complete 1 out of 10, that point depends upon luck. Okay, some people have a hard time accepting that. No, it's not luck because flint napping is not like hit and pray, hit and pray. It's not that. It's not that way. You don't get it. Okay, someone explain it to him because I'm done. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm reading the comments now. Let's see what I missed. Scott Lauer says, I didn't have a mink, but I had ferrets as a kid and go hunting rabbits. Ferrets are great pets, but stink so bad. Awesome flushing rabbits, though. They gave me many rabbit dinners. Yeah, see, ferrets can go into the rabbit holes, and the rabbits go, yikes, and they try to escape. Yes, yes. I've seen videos on it. I've never done it. And I agree that ferrets smell funny. Yes, they do. You can immediately tell someone has a ferret for a pet when you walk in their house. Oh, yes. Jim says currently oldest known worked stone is 3.3 million years old. Dang, that's older than I thought. Yeah, that's older. Now, modern humans, uh, they're thinking are about 100,000 years old. Us, modern humans, Homo sapiens are 100,000 years old, but hominids and human ancestors go back quite a ways. I didn't even think hominids were 3.3 million years old, but I thought that was the start of hominids, not the start of flint napping. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Uh, let's see. AFC says, nope, sorry, I was wrong. Oldowan tools as far back as 2.6 million years ago. There was a period of over 1 million years where our tools, hand axes basically didn't change. I see. So 2.6 million years. Okay, that sounds a little better. Ralph says, Scott, I love eating rabbits. We used to hunt them in our Christmas tree farm as a kid. Awesome. Yeah, rabbits are awesome tasting. Mike says, napping for escapism. Yeah, that was me when I started to. Yeah. See, I wanted a sense of accomplishment in doing something also. That's probably why I got into it as a hobby. It's just the sense of accomplishment. But I was into archery mainly as a hobby. Anything that didn't cost much, I could just take waste pieces of, yard trash and make an archery set out of it, or go to Home Depot and get a red oak board, stave, and some dowels, and go to Hobby Lobby and get the feathers and the point I could make out of anything. At that time, I was grinding them out of bone and making them out of metal. But I said, no, I want to do them. I want to make some arrowheads out of stone because, Indians did that. No big deal, right? Yeah. Little did I know. Let's see. Jesse says, I'm no longer a crappy napper, but a crafty napper thanks to your technique. Well, or teachings. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you made the jump to crafty instead of crappy. AFC says they should reaccess. Math is sexy and it pays dividends in the work world. Reassess. Yeah. All right. So Jim says oldest known stone tools discovered at the Lamekwi site in Kenya previously 2.6 million. Yeah. Take that with a grain of salt though, because I still don't trust archaeologists even to this day because there's so much disinformation in the archaeological texts. Disinformation on purpose. Yeah. Jesse says, yep, I just read a paper on the Kenya tools. I see. Alan says, Scott, the EU ferrets are way more effective hunters than the USA ferrets. The USA ferrets are all from Marshall farms and are so domesticated they've lost their lethal hunting instincts in most cases. Dang, those American ferrets are lazy. Sal says, getting thin points is like playing Russian roulette. There you go. There's an element of risk there. TJ says, there goes Patrick using math. Okay. Alan says, you're making them tater chips, Sal. Yeah, Sal's making tater chip points. Yes. Yeah, but I'm playing Russian roulette. Mm-hmm. Alina says, hit and pray? LOL. That's more like hit and sworn. Hit and swear. Yeah. Mike says, in regards to luck in flint napping, when you do it enough, you make more strikes based on a decision rather than hope. Yeah, it becomes more of a decision, but uh, it helps you refine your results. You're getting closer and closer to predictability for sure over time. But there's a just like shooting a basketball into a hoop. You know, a professional basketball player can get in the hoop all the time, and you're thinking it's technique, right? It's not just technique. There is still an element of luck in there. The sportsman tries to reduce the effect that luck has. All right, but there's still in the brain. There's still little quirks, and sometimes you're off, and it's just for some reason you didn't make the basket, even though you know you can. What is that? That's just unfortunate circumstance and luck. So uh, it's still in case um, in case you haven't gotten the message yet. Uh, Flintknapping is like a sport in that it has an element of risk. I just have a hard time explaining it. And I'm trying to figure out a good way to explain when you do something over and over and over again, you refine your skill at it, right? But don't get the idea that the possibility of bad things happening diminishes all that much. Okay, you're just avoiding it. The possibility is still there, but you take precautions to help to try to avoid it. That's why even experienced nappers will break something in half, and you go, that doesn't make any sense because you spend years and years and years learning not to break it in half. It shouldn't break in half because you've reached a certain level where you don't break it in half no more. That doesn't ever happen. Okay, so if you got the mindset that you can just practice, if you can just practice enough, that possibility of breaking goes away. It's not the case. And just practice enough, and you can get nice flake patterns. And the not being able to get flake patterns goes away. No, it never does. Let's see. Where am I? Hey, everyone. Better late to the party than never, says Noah Merritt. Yep, better late than never. Jim says falconers use ferrets to flush rabbits for hawks, especially goshawks. Dang, I can't imagine taking a ferret out to go hunting and along with your raptor bird or something. And then maybe you bring a dog too to retrieve the animal. I don't know. That seems like a lot of animals. um, Scott Lauer says, Alan, we have wild polecats, but I used domesticated polecat ferrets, which are way slower and less lethal than the wild guys. We wanted the rabbits to have a chance to get to an above ground net. Let's see. Ralph says, rabbit recipe: coat in seasoned flour, fry in electric frying pan, place brown meat on a rack in a frying pan, simmer and steam in beer 45 minutes, add carrots, onions, and potatoes for the last 25 minutes. It sounds like a Bugs Bunny recipe in the Bugs Bunny cartoons or the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoons. You know, all these chopping up carrots and salt and pepper and yeah, that's what that sounds like. Let's see. Two new guys in the chat. Pay the toll and hit the like button or thumbs up. Scott Lauer says, wild polecats and mink are very quick and nothing escapes. We didn't want rabbits killed below ground. Yes, that makes sense. Scott, yes, I'm very familiar with the domestic EU ferrets. Makes USA ferrets look like Dumb and Dumber. Jesse says, I used to make Home Depot arrows for my self bow. Home Depot hardwood dowels with good grain. Even the fletching I made from camel colored duct tape, they worked good. I would cut pieces of saw blades, right? Let's see, Jesse. Saw points made from saw blades before I knew how to nap. I see. Yeah. Brennan says, I've been breaking down material for heat treat for the past 5 hours and I'm worn out. Understandable, yes. Brennan says, all laurel, such a small return, but pretty stuff. All laurel what? Jim says, Will Lord's site is Will Lord Prehistoric Survival. Okay, noted. Scott Lauer says, ours can be docile, but they aren't that bad. Sounds great, that, Ralph. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ferrets and mink are in the skunk family. They're smelly. I see. TJ says muscle memory plays a big part in sport and flint napping. Oh yeah, yeah. Wolverine is my favorite mustelid. Is that a species? Mustelid. It's Ed Gould is here. So practice makes nearly perfect, not necessarily perfect. Right. You're approaching perfection. Um, and this topic gets me very distracted because I see a lot of people online once they become napping seasoned napping spectators, they come up with statements like controlled, everything becomes controlled. Okay, yeah, to a certain extent, of course, you're that's nothing new. It's not an insight to say it's a controlled flake or a controlled flint napping experience. That it is controlled to some extent, but that's not an insight. It's like Captain Obvious saying it. Okay, so I make fun of it. If I do a step fracture, for instance, and I've been napping 15 years and all my flakes are controlled, therefore that's a controlled step fracture. Yep. Using that logic that things are controlled in flint napping, but there's a subtle weirdness in some people's minds about the word control because they make the leap. They say if it's controlled, that must be part of the technology. Okay, so and my counter to that is that step fracture right there part of the technology? Is it? If it is, okay, then you're being consistent. If it is not part of the technology, what makes it not part of the technology that's different from an overshot or a lump on the face? What's the difference? It just looks bad. Okay, so that's what makes a difference between the technology and not the technology. The way it looks, it just looks bad. There's no logical reasoning there. I see. Yeah. So you start to get the picture, right? Where it depends on how it looks, whether it's the technology or not the technology. Yeah. It's not a good way to look at it. And it threw me off for a long time when I was trying to explain flint napping to people, these days I just make fun of it. Yeah. Because I got worn out trying to be technical because there are people that just they don't quit with their thought experiments. They think they know, but they're at the spectator level, so they don't quite grasp what goes on. Just like sports spectators, they know the sport, they know the rules, they know everything, they know the history, they know the players, they know the culture behind it, everything. They know everything except the actual playing of the game and the management of the risks. They think they have vast knowledge, but to play the game itself is completely different than being a spectator. Yeah. And they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Nope. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I flip nap too, and I think everything's controlled. Yeah. Something's not penetrating. Something's not getting into the skull. You're not using your noggin. Yeah. Just like some people can see me do a strike and they know where I hit and they know what tools I'm using and they know that they can see the angles, but they don't understand how it works unless I say something about it. It just doesn't register without, I guess, voice assistance or something, right? Same with people who do thought experiments. Uh, they can see what's going on, but they don't understand it, so they have to thought experiment what's going on. All right. Anyways, I'll stop. But that topic gets me distracted because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Because explanations matter. Yeah. When you're trying to explain it, it does matter. You got to get the explanation right. And it messes people up. I'm convinced that some people are not good nappers because they've been explained, or they've had napping explained to them in the wrong way. They don't understand, for one, as an example, that subtle variations that are almost imperceptible make all the difference when you get down to the final finishing. Yeah. That kind of thing. So I'm almost past the defects in the stone, I think. I'm still seeing quite a bit of defects in the stone in this area. I mean, it can be used as a tool as it is. I skimmed a lot off of the cortex side, probably more than I should have. Yeah. Why I did that? I was just looking for opportunities to get flakes like this. Some nice flakes. And I think I took too much off. I didn't think the underside or the bad side was going to be this bad. Yeah. What did I miss? How do trees get online? They just log on, says Mike Mason. AFC says that sounds like the start of a riddle. A ferret, a bird, and a dog need to cross the river. Yeah. Mike Mason says, Ed Money, what material is perfect? They log off. They just leave. Says Ed. Ralph says, yes, mustelids, wolverines, I think, are the largest members of this group. Jesse says, I made a perfect Dalton-shaped blade. Could have just been happy, but I wanted to learn fluting. I knew high probability of breaking. Flute ran all the way down finally, but drove near the tip and overshot. Yeah, there you go. That happens. Yeah, overshots happen. Let me see. Jesse says, broke the tip off, but worth the learning experience. Finally got one to run. Awesome. Yeah. So instead of saying, shh, happens, overshots happen. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say it right there. All right. Ed Gould says, the one you can nap the best is the perfect for you, MM. I think MM means Mike Mason. Jesse says, risk reward for sure. Yeah. Brennan says, all Laurel Chert, my local material. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I worked some of that Laurel Chert stuff. Hey, Lance, Outcast metal detecting. What's up, Crafty? I'm at work, but I'm watching intermittently. Good. Awesome. Let's see. Blades and points. Okay. Sal says, that's cool, Brennan. Jesse says, hey, Ed, Brennan, you find good stone, broski. Let's see. Helen says, Cape Clawless Otter might be bigger than Wolverine. Might depend on the individual. Definitely a close call. Oh, so talking about more mustelids or whatever they're called. Jesse, Sal, you selling the deep notch or is that for a keeper case? Jay Valente says, I do controlled step fractures all the freaking time. Yeah, there you go. And the more experience you have, the more controlled those step fractures are. Yeah. Sarcasm is great, isn't it? Let's see. Sal says, don't feel left out, Jay. Yeah. So, yeah, this is intentional And the longer you are napping and the more experience you have, the more the step fractures are part of the technology. Technological step fractures. I should put that on the back of a t-shirt. Yeah. Step fracture technology. There you go. Snap in half technology. Stacks. Stacks technology. Crushed edge technology. Mike Mason says, Ed, exactly. No material really is perfect. It's a variable that can go through the perfect form for a loop. Yeah, it can throw the perfect form out the window if you got bad material. Let's see. Sal's giving away stuff. Dalton McCormick says, I'm Flintknapping an almond. There you go. As long as you can stick it on a stick. That shirt fits pretty good on you, Patrick, says Alan. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, I like it. I have a t-shirt under this. It was a little bit crisp this morning as far as the weather goes. So I got a t-shirt under this. But I think it's going to shrink a little bit after I wash it. So I might buy a large one next time or get a larger one. Let's see. Jesse says, I'll gladly pay for it. That one's amazing. Sweet. Yeah. We'll have to work this merch thing out eventually. Yeah. Let's see. If you think ferrets are stinky, get a whiff of the Wolverine sometimes. Oh Lord, it's bad as a skunk. The hunk papa called them skunk bears. What's a hunk papa? I don't understand some of this. Yes, damn, them step fractures, yeah. Jesse says, oh, come on, Pat, just heat the rock and put a drop of water each place you want to flake. Duh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Parody and sarcasm so fun. Yeah. Jesse says, I've heard that wives tale too many times. Oh yeah, about dripping water on it. I should show you what it looks like, but it's scary. But I'll do it. You know, what am I talking about? You heat a rock in a fire or next to a fire because that's the easiest thing to do. And then once you think it's hot enough, you just drip water on it, see if the flakes come off. I'll show you what happens. Yeah, in case you don't know. But I need better goggles or glasses than this. I need full goggles all the way around my eyes with the seal. I've got some that are swimming goggles that they work beautifully because they seal around the eyes so nothing gets in there. Yeah. If I don't have a pair of those on, I'm not doing the experiment, but I got a pair. Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that with the goggles on just so we can see. And then, but of course, they're going to move the goalpost and say, well, you didn't heat it perfectly because if you're between 342 degrees and 356.9 degrees, it'll work. And the temperature of the water has to be 76.9 or maybe variable by 0.6, so 76.2 to 77.1. Yeah. They'll come up with something like that that's more precise and move the goalpost and say, well, can you prove to me that you did it like I said you were supposed to do it? Okay, my question to you is, how would they know how to do that back in the day when you say that they did it that way? Did they have a thermometer and temperature gauges to gauge all this stuff? No, they didn't. So what are you talking about? Yeah, but as soon as you start talking about something that's not what they think, they hear Charlie Brown's teacher. Womp, 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 womp. They don't hear it. Yeah. But they hear just like Charlie Brown and his teacher. That's what it boils down to. Let me see. Everyone say hello. Everyone say hello. TJ says, I shot off an arrow one time. Stupid Cupid made it hit the wrong person. That was 21 years bad luck. I laugh because I am divorced, but I had no idea my marriage was going to go like it did. Yeah, I can relate to that one. Sal says, new t shirt. I'm going to the islands. Yay, there you go. Only a Flintknapper would understand that. Hey, Mikael, I am late today, buddy. Yeah, it's not that late. Yeah. You still got 25 minutes. Yeah. Uh, I'm I'm off by about 4 minutes on the chat. Let's see. Brendan says, howdy, Ed. Let's see. S Butter says, I can't stay for long. Just wanted to say hi. Hey, AB, we were talking about you behind your back, as always. That's what you missed. Ellen says, I'm rolling a few cigars for my friends. Some of you might know him. Some people call him Jack. Yeah. Alan's been giving me updates on the cigars. Overshot flaking control technology? Yeah, of course, it's controlled. And the more experience you have when you get a overshot, the more controlled it is. Yeah. Easy peasy. Yep. And when I say that, and if let's say I would say that seriously, people would hit the like button just because I said that. If they thought I was being serious. Yes, overshots are absolutely controlled, especially within the technology. Yeah. And they would hit the like button. And if they could hit it 3 times, they would hit it 3 times. Why is it that humans love the opposite of reality? I have no idea. I wish I knew. Yep. Let me see. Hunk Papa is what Sitting Bull was, a subset of the Sioux. So Hunk Papa or Hunk Papa, that's an Indian word. Is what Sitting Bull was, a subsect of the Sioux. They don't call themselves Sioux, really. Sioux is a Crow word meaning enemy. I see. I see Sioux. TJ's says Hunk Papa is an Indian elder, I think. Jeremy, flying squirrels are a fun pet. Really? I've never heard. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos and Instagram videos with flying squirrels, but I thought those are just like not pets, but squirrels that got used to people. I suppose that could be a pet. The skunks that I have out front that munch on the cat food, they're used to me now, so I can open the door and they can be sitting right there, and they go, "Hey, what are you? I'm eating here. Come on, I'm eating here." Oh, sorry, I closed the door. They don't even move. They just look at me like, "Hey, what's going on here? Privacy? Have you heard of it?" Let's see. Mike says, "Step fractured, overshot technology. Ouch and pain." Yes, yes. Ralph says, Alan, I think that fellow will enjoy some cigars. We know him well. Oh, I enjoy them too much. Yes, I do. I hurt myself sometimes. Ralph says, Alan, I think that fellow. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Ralph, were you in Germany with my brother Gary? that'd be something if you guys are that connected. Yeah, small world type stuff. Killer Cork is here. Hey, hey, just stopping in to say hello. Have a busy day. I might be popping back in. Good. Yeah. Sometimes Wednesday is the only time I see some of you guys. Yeah. This is getting better as far as the Flintknapping. I'm progressing through the nasty stuff, but as you can see, there's still defects in the stone here. In case you're curious, I know it's not a very good instructional video. I get into the chat, then I get behind on the napping. I start doing the napping, and I get behind on the chat. Ouch! I just sliced myself. Gotta pay attention. It's funny. Your skin actually does get a little bit thicker after slicing yourself so many times. Mm-hmm. So I just brushed my finger. You can't see it. Yeah, right there along the edge. Just a little bit. It took off a chunk of skin. There it is. A little bit of delay in the bleeding. Do I have my? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have my band-aids running somewhere. If it starts making a mess, I'll get a band-aid. But yeah, this is a nice raw stuff that gets really sharp. I can probably make a good point once I get through all that nasty stuff. Yeah. All right, where am I? I'll start napping this again in a second here. Let's see. TJ says, Jeremy, in Australia we have sugar gliders. Oh, flying squirrel sugar gliders. Yeah. Let's see. Brennan says the triple like. Okay. You would have to pay for it like a membership. Yeah. They would too. To hear me say stuff like that, they would pay for the ability to triple like it. Yeah. If I say stuff like, "Oh yes, paleo flaking is a thing." Triple like, triple like, triple like. Hmm. By the way, paleo flaking is not a thing. Ah, where's the triple down thumbs button? Dang it! That's what they're looking at. That's what they're thinking when I say stuff like that. Let me see. Brennan says, okay, I read that one. Have you stepped outside lately, Patrick? There are weirdos out here in reality. Yeah, I know, I know. Ed says he had a Ralph Snyder in his platoon in Germany. Oh, okay. We're talking about overseas service in Germany. Jesse says crafty live streams are like a box of chocolates, Janae. You never know what you're going to get. Yeah, Janae. uh, I see what you did there. Okay. Brennan says, my uncle has had a few flying squirrels, the smaller variety we get here in South Indiana. Hmm. Brennan says, shrimp and Patrick, shrimp and crafty, shrimp and overshot, shrimp and Folsoms. Yeah. Yep. I get what you did there. Let's see, Jenny's. Noticed I said Janae with the Forrest. Yeah, with the Forrest Gump accent. Yeah, I see how you spelt that. It's clever. Yeah. The corners of my fingers stay in constant state of crack. I guess I flint nap too much, but not quite enough to stop that. Dang it. Hmm. You mean cracking your knuckles, I suppose? Ralph says, no, unfortunately, I was never in the military. Wanted to enlist in the Navy. My uncle was in the submarine service. Okay, so Ralph Snyder was not in Germany. You need to make comedy sports pertaining to flint napping. Comedy shorts pertaining to flint napping. We would eat them up. Yeah, I'll make some comedy shorts when it comes with flint napping topics. How's that? Yeah, and general Stone Age technology type silliness. Yeah, I do want to do that. Hmm. It would also make people that love shorts very much happy. Yep, much happiness. Let's see. I don't like shorts myself, but I'll do them eventually. Get a sensei mustache. Really throwing for a looper. Yeah. Hunk Pap were part of the Sioux tribe, says Ralph. You guys know this stuff. I don't know this stuff. Noah says, I'm sitting by the lake, just cleaned up a bunch of trash, and I'm making a point out of a broken bottle with a tiny antler tine I keep on my key ring. Already have two bloaters. What's a bloater? You had me interested until you said bloaters, and then I got lost. Mike says, Hunter Biden wants those fingers. Ah, blisters. Oh, you have two blisters, not bloaters. Why does spell check change blisters to bloaters when there's no such thing as bloaters? I don't think. Let's see. Brendan says, no, my fingernail corners. I don't know. I'm trying to read, guys. I have enough of a hard time reading. Maybe I should make mistakes on purpose and then make you work to see what you did. What did I do? paybacks are paybacks are hard, huh? Mm-hmm. I'll read your message wrong, and you'll have to go back and look. And yeah, just because you've been putting all these typos in the comments section. All right, Ed says my neighbor has a flying big red squirrels. He rigs a laundry basket with some bungee straps and has a trigger set up so when they come in to get a nut or two from his basket, he sends them flying. With like a catapult? That's funny. So yeah, flying big red squirrels. I thought you were meant. Yeah, I see where they were trying to go with that. I thought you were talking about flying squirrels, but you're not talking about the ones that have the flaps, the skin flaps. You're talking about flying squirrels shooting out of a catapult in the backyard. Let's see. AFC says, because he's been texting about the floaters in that show, The Last of Us. What's the show called, The Last of Us? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Yeah, come in to get a nut. Yeah, that's the phrasing there. I gotta watch it, but when I read stuff, I need to start filtering it first, so I don't read stuff that can be misinterpreted. But trying to catch up on the chat, you guys are gonna catch me. Yeah, and the phrasing. Oh, Flintknapping is bad for phrasing. What are you guys talking about over there? We're talking about breaking rocks. Yeah, but you're talking about stuff that seems like it's not too kosher. And yeah, Flintknapping is that way. Yeah, yeah. We're talking about using boppers and stuff, sharp edges, projectile weapons. We can get in trouble with our language. Yeah, so what was I going to say? I was going to say something about nap-ins. This is similar to a nap-in, what you'll encounter at a nap-in. A lot of people don't want to go to nap-ins because they're like, a nap-in, is that like a... Is that like a family reunion where you're trying to avoid people you don't like? I don't want to go. Because one time I mentioned that a nap-in is like a family reunion. You all have something in common. With a family reunion, you're all related, and when you go to a nap-in, you're mostly all nappers. So you have all that in common, but you don't know anybody, or you think you might know somebody, but not sure. And then sometimes there's a little bit of friction between nappers because there's drama between people inevitably. So you're going, I don't want to go to that area because that guy, I think we had an argument a while ago, so I never talked to him anymore, and things like that. Nap-ins are usually pretty chill. Okay, so don't worry. It's not like a family reunion, although I did mention that before. I recommend going to nap-ins because it saves me a lot of time. Where do I find rock? Go to a nap-in. Can you show me how to do this in a Zoom call or something? Just go to a nap-in and have someone look at what you're doing. Can you show me or tell me who sells rocks? Just go to a nap-in. There's rock sellers there. Is there anyone that still sells, heat treated, blah, blah, blah? Just go to a nap-in and ask the guys there. Where do I get slabs? I want slabs of mookaite. I want slabs of Polish flint. I want slabs of blah, blah, South American agates. And just go to a nap-in. But I don't want to drive 4 hours. To go to the Knapping that I usually go to takes me 36 hours. Okay. That includes stops. Yes. I think the GPS says 28 hours, but when I have to stop to get food and all that, it takes me 4 days to get there. So I don't want to hear no excuses. Yeah. I don't want to hear it. Okay, but can you tell me where to get free rock? They don't listen. No. They see the lips move. They hear a vibration of the voice as it comes out. They know that there's some communication going on, but they don't hear it. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Not everybody, okay? I'm just fussing. Yeah. Don't worry. Not everyone's like that. I've seen it all, so I go back to some people that I haven't had encounters with. Yeah, it's funny. So I think we're getting down to the nitty gritty with this piece here. Finally getting to a solid, yeah, a solid base to work with. Look at how straight that is, and I can haft it to a stick. What country does that look like? Hmm. Let's do a psychological test. What do you see? I see, that flame little monster. This is a flame on top of his head. All you gotta do is draw little eyes on there. Put little arms and legs on it. It's a flame monster. What's he talking about? I'm listening. I can't see what it is. Where's the flame monster? You missed it. That's what you get for having me on in the background. You can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, the nitty gritty. The final stage. Can you see what I was doing, or did I not show it? What angle is this that I'm using? What is the exact curvature of this bopper, or are you using a flat spot? How far away is your hand from the actual point of impact? Oh gosh, none of that matters because even if you could do it the same way I'm doing it, you wouldn't get the same result because you need practice. There's a lot of things that can only be done through practice. And I'm not saying I'm really great at this, but it's taken me a long time to be able to do this. Yeah. It's taken me a long time. And if I sound like Charlie Brown's teacher when I say that, it's not my fault. It's on you, buddy. Let's see. Okay, where do we go? Oh, they go about 50 yards. He's catapulting squirrels in his backyard, and they go about 50 yards. What do we got? We got 7 minutes or 5 minutes left in the chat. Okay, let me try to catch up here, and then I'll say goodbye. All right. Jesse says, I'm realizing that on raw root beer, I need a Tufts 20-ounce bopper, LOL. Take some weight to drive the raw stuff using a 1.5-inch diameter aluminum rod, but I want a solid copper one. Yeah. This one that I've been using this whole time, just one bopper, 6.5 ounce, 6.05 ounces. So it's a 6-ounce bopper. I've been using this the whole time to get this. And it's shaping up to be okay. Yeah. Once I got the nasty stuff off the front, everything is shaping up to be much better. Yeah. There's still some issues with it. Right here, there's this crack that goes into the stone. Let's see if I can pop that out. Did that work? I think that actually worked. One flake, and voila, it is gone. Hmm, good. Easy peasy. Was that controlled or was that luck? You'll never know. Let's see. Let me try to take that one bump out of there that I can see. Yeah, did it. See, this is a perfect example of how to explain how to remove an obstacle. See, the obstacle is right there. See that lump? It's a lump right there. To effectively remove it, I like to use the middle of the flake, not the ending or the beginning of the flake. The middle. The middle is the easiest to predict. So that's the closest I can get to a controlled obstacle removal from the middle of the flake. Okay? If I have to depend on the ending, it's not very good. If I have to depend on the beginning, it's not very good. But the middle is much better. It, it gives me much better results. Which side was it? It was that side. Okay? So I could have come in from lower down here up, or where I did start it from there up. It could not come in from that side inward because that's head on to the step fracture. That's not a good idea. So you come in from a different angle. Okay, I'm glad about that. So that was the last big obstacle. Everything else is kind of easy peasy in comparison. Okay. Still an element of risk, though. Let's see. AFC says, yeah, there's drama, but there's some welcoming people mostly. Oh, yeah. They are glad to help you to learn and improve. Yeah, nap-ins are great for people helping you, for sure. Canadian Gemstones, WTB, 100 pounds Polish banded flint. What is WTB? Win the balloons? Who's going to win the 100 pounds? Win the balloons. Get 100 pounds of Polish banded flint. I don't know what WTB is. Are you stupid or something? Yes, I am stupid. Sal says, that's funny, Patrick. I was talking to Keith and Brady, and he said that Brady had always been a chill nap-in, but he told me some stories about other nappers in the drama from back in the day. Yeah, there was some drama back in the day. Noah Merritt says, hello, Pooh. What did I miss? Ralph says, there's a channel where the guy built a squirrel obstacle course in his yard. So damn funny. Those squirrels were creative at running the course. Yeah, I think I saw that actually. I can vouch for that video. I've seen too many videos, I tell you, over the years. Let's see. So Noah says his kids love that channel with the squirrels on it. Ed says, looks like the Grinch. Oh yeah, the hairstyle of the Grinch, that flake. But look at that. That's better than a Folsom. Yeah, look at that. And the flake scar is from the base to the tip. Better than a Folsom. Yeah. I wish. Okay. That flame monster looks like a Victorian Australia where I live. I see. I knew it looked like some geographic figure or geographic zone or area. Those white arms shining. I can tell you're not from Texas anymore. Yeah, I lost my tan. Even my farmer's tan has gone away. So I'm not just white. I am neon white. Yeah. Like Jeff Dunham says in his comedy skits. When I grow up, I want to be Jeff Dunham. Yep. I want to be neon white. Let's see. Thomas H. Goodbye, fellas. See you in the next live stream. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you, Thomas. Brandon says, that's the bopper I use a lot too. I be breaking stuff in half too often if I forget to switch the 6 ounce instead of the bigger 9 ounce. Yeah. Mike says, I totally blew out the crotch of my pants today. Dang it. What have you been up to? Let's see. Okay. Jordan says, adios, amigos. See you Friday. Yeah, the next live stream is Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. And I might do a video between now and then, but usually on these days, see, Monday's full. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those 4 days, I try to take a break from Flintknapping. Okay, so I do other things. Like right now, I'm working on another project. Well, 3 actually, to try to catch up on these projects for other people off the, aside from the auction. I've got to make a gull wing bow. Okay, you know what a gull wing bow is. I'm gonna make a short gull wing bow with a natural string. I might be able to show that on a video when I finish it, but sometimes I don't show that stuff on video. I just get them packaged up and sent off as quick as possible. Yeah. But I'm going to try to get more, related projects filmed. I'm even having a hard time doing the voiceovers. And I'm thinking seriously about going, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. It was a bad idea. The voiceover thing is, for me, it's just easier, even though it takes the same amount of time. It's just easier for me to sit down and shoot a video just winging it. And besides, if I try to show an instructional video by just voiceover, I lose the effect that I can point to something and say, this is what I'm going to try and see how it works in real time. Okay. If I have to voice over it, I might forget some of the details that are important because I'm not in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So instructional videos are actually quite difficult to get correct, I think. I might be overthinking it, but I tried already and I just can't get in the zone and know exactly. Well, I never know exactly, but I can't get in the zone and actually, to my own satisfaction, tell you what's going on with a voiceover. Unfortunately. Let's see. Ed Gould says 40 years ago we could get copper teardrop shaped copper boppers 1.5 inches on the big end. All right, everyone. I'm gonna close up the live stream. Say goodbye here in a minute. As soon as I catch up with the chat. Jim says a childhood friend had a flying squirrel that we threw out. We threw at each other across his living room. Give it a sunflower seed tidbits, and he landed on us. Yep. Okay, good day, buddy, says Alan Cole. Stay amazing, you filthy animals. The copper was solid and they worked great, says Ed. Have not seen them for a long time. Yep. They still sell solid copper boppers. I mean, there's still some of those available in Nappins too. Y'all are leaving? I just got home. It was fun. Yeah, we're leaving. We're all packing up. Noah says he got a farmer's burn yesterday. Oh well. It's that season now. Later, says Mike Mason. Let's see. Hey, Danny. Hey, folks, spring nap-in's done. Water Creek is too far away from Central Texas, but we'll go one day anyway. Danny is in Doghouse. Good to see you, Danny. Excellent napper. You got to check him out. He does blades and stuff. Noah says, hard times. Ralph says, nope, keep asking questions so the chat keeps going. Dang it, don't do that. Do not do that. Don Reed. Gary says, what was that door prize today? I missed the drawing again. Well, since you're so fussy, I should just give you a crybaby sandwich for the door prize. Gary, you won the door prize. It's a little crybaby sandwich, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone says hello and everyone says goodbye. It's always 4:20 somewhere. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I forgot. How was the nap-in? The nap-ins are good. Okay. What percentage pure silica content is the best rock you have napped? And what moisture content did it have? And what temp did you nap it? The answer is Tuesday. Yeah. What? Yeah. Whenever I don't want to answer something, that the default answer is Tuesday. Hey Dad, where is the blah blah blah? Tuesday. What? I get a chuckle whenever I do that. Okay. But I see what you did there. All right. If it naps, it naps. If it don't, it don't. Yes, that's one of the 12 rules of napping. One of the 12 rules of napping life. Later, friendos. Later, later. Everyone say goodbye. I'm going to close out the live stream here in a minute. Do you need someone to make me a yucca bowstring? I can. Yeah, just make one and send it just in case. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, AFC. Bye, y'all, guys. Bye bye. All right, everyone. Bye bye. See you later. Danny says, I had a flying squirrel, and if I wanted to catch him, I'd throw him a sock on the floor and it would dive into it every time. Wow. Ralph says, I'd say goodbye, but I'm driving until the wheels fall off. All right. Goodbye, everybody. We're already 7 minutes past. I'll see you next time. Next live stream is Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Okay? It's been fun. Thank you very much. Bye bye.